Focus on yourself. Don't waste your time, for time is the most precious resource we have, and how we choose to spend it shapes the trajectory of our lives. In a world filled with distractions and constant demands, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. To live intentionally and make meaningful progress, we must be mindful of where we invest our time. Focusing on ourselves means prioritizing personal growth, self-care, and the things that align with our true purpose. When we focus on our own development, we not only enrich our own lives, but also have the capacity to positively impact those around us. The truth is, time is never guaranteed, and once spent, it can never be reclaimed. By being intentional with our time, we create a life that reflects our deepest values and desires. Time is the most precious resource we possess, a treasure that cannot be replenished once spent. Unlike money, which can be earned and lost again, or material possessions which can be replaced or discarded, time is entirely unique in its nature. Every moment that passes is gone forever, leaving behind only the imprint of how we chose to use it. This makes time invaluable, yet paradoxically, it is often the resource most taken for granted. Recognizing its irreplaceable nature is the first step toward purposeful living, a life where every second is treated with the reverence it deserves. To fully grasp the value of time, we must examine how it shapes the essence of our existence. Time is not merely a measure of hours or days. It is the framework within which our entire lives unfold. Every achievement, every relationship, every experience is rooted in how we allocate our time. It is the silent witness to our growth, our struggles, and our triumphs. Yet despite its undeniable importance, we frequently allow time to slip through our fingers, squandered on distractions or pursuits that add little to the quality of our lives. Understanding this truth compels us to rethink how we engage with time, urging us to move from a mindset of neglect to one of intentionality. Intentional living begins with a clear understanding of priorities. When we value time, we become more discerning about how we spend it and whom we share it with. This means making conscious decisions that align with our values and goals. It means stepping back to reflect on what truly matters, whether it's nurturing meaningful relationships, pursuing passions, or simply finding joy in the present moment. Valuing time is not about filling every second with activity. Rather, it's about ensuring that the activities we choose bring fulfillment and purpose. It is about quality over quantity, depth over surface level busyness. One of the greatest challenges to valuing time lies in the illusion of abundance. We often operate under the assumption that there will always be more time, that opportunities can be postponed, dreams deferred, and relationships left untended. This mindset can lead to procrastination and complacency, as if tomorrow were a guarantee rather than a privilege. However, life is unpredictable, and the amount of time available to us is uncertain. Acknowledging the finite nature of time transforms the way we approach each day, inspiring us to live with greater urgency and focus. Another critical aspect of valuing time is learning to say no. For many, the fear of disappointing others or missing out leads to an overcommitment of their time. This leaves little room for personal priorities, causing stress and diminishing the quality of their experiences. Saying no is not a rejection of others. It is an affirmation of self. It is a way of preserving time for what truly matters, of ensuring that our days are spent in ways that enrich rather than deplete us. Setting boundaries around our time is an act of self-respect and a declaration of what we hold dear. Valuing time also requires us to examine the distractions that consume it. In a world saturated with social media, endless entertainment, and constant demands for attention, it is easy to lose hours, even days, to activities that bring little satisfaction or meaning. These distractions often masquerade as rest or relaxation, yet they leave us feeling drained and unfulfilled. To combat this, we must cultivate mindfulness, becoming aware of how we are spending our time and making adjustments when necessary. Mindfulness allows us to reclaim lost moments, redirecting them toward pursuits that align with our values and aspirations. When we value time, we begin to see its connection to our energy and well-being. Time spent on meaningful activities energizes and uplifts us, while time wasted on draining or unimportant matters leaves us feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. This is why it is crucial to approach each day with intention, choosing activities that nourish our mind, body, and spirit. Whether it's through creative endeavors, time spent with loved ones, or moments of quiet reflection, valuing time means prioritizing what brings us joy and peace. Valuing time is about living a life of purpose. It is about recognizing that every moment is an opportunity to grow, to connect, and to create. It is about understanding that the choices we make today shape the life we will lead tomorrow. By treating time as the treasure it is, we honor not only the present, but also the future we are building. Purposeful living is not a destination, but a journey, one guided by the understanding that time, once gone, can never be reclaimed. To live with this awareness is to live fully, embracing each day as a gift and an opportunity. It is to awaken to the truth that our time is the most valuable asset we have, and to choose again and again to spend it wisely. Distractions have become an almost inevitable part of modern life. They creep into our daily routines, subtly stealing time and energy that could be better spent on meaningful activities. Social media, endless entertainment options, unnecessary commitments, and societal expectations all contribute to a fragmented sense of focus. These distractions not only consume our precious time, but also dilute our ability to live intentionally and productively. To reclaim control over our lives, it is essential to identify these distractions and take proactive steps to minimize their impact. One of the most pervasive distractions in today's world is social media. While these platforms offer opportunities for connection and information sharing, they also create an addictive cycle of scrolling and comparing. Hours can disappear as we move from one post to the next, often consuming content that adds little to our personal growth or happiness. The curated nature of social media further compounds this issue, as it presents an idealized version of reality that can lead to feelings of inadequacy or dissatisfaction. To avoid this trap, we must set boundaries around our social media use. This could mean limiting screen time, turning off unnecessary notifications, or intentionally scheduling time for digital detoxes. By being mindful of how we engage with social media, we can regain valuable time and preserve our mental well-being. Unnecessary commitments are another significant source of distraction. Many people find themselves saying yes to obligations that do not align with their priorities, often out of a sense of guilt, obligation, or fear of disappointing others. These commitments, while well-intentioned, can quickly fill our schedules, leaving little room for activities that truly matter. Recognizing this, it is important to evaluate each commitment carefully, asking whether it contributes to our goals or enhances our well-being. Learning to say no is a powerful tool in avoiding distractions. It allows us to protect our time and focus on what truly adds value to our lives, whether that is pursuing a passion, spending time with loved ones, or simply resting. Societal expectations can also act as a major distraction. From an early age, we are often conditioned to conform to certain norms or chase predefined markers of success. This pressure to meet external standards can lead us to pursue paths that are not genuinely fulfilling, diverting our energy away from what is meaningful to us. For instance, the pursuit of material wealth or societal approval can overshadow more personal goals, such as creative expression, inner peace, or genuine relationships. Breaking free from these expectations requires a conscious effort to define success on our own terms. It involves introspection and the courage to prioritize what aligns with our values over what others expect from us. Entertainment, while a source of relaxation, can also become a distraction when consumed excessively or mindlessly. Streaming platforms, video games, and other forms of digital entertainment are designed to keep us engaged for as long as possible. While there is nothing inherently wrong with enjoying these activities, they can become problematic when they take precedence over more meaningful pursuits. To avoid this, we must practice moderation and intentionality. By setting specific time limits or prioritizing activities that bring long-term fulfillment, such as reading, learning, or engaging in creative hobbies, we can strike a healthy balance between relaxation and productivity. Multitasking is another form of distraction that often goes unnoticed. In an attempt to maximize productivity, many people juggle multiple tasks simultaneously, believing they are making the most of their time. However, research shows that multitasking often leads to decreased focus and lower quality of work. When our attention is divided, we are more likely to make mistakes and feel mentally exhausted. To combat this, it is important to embrace single tasking, focusing on one task at a time with full attention. This approach not only improves efficiency, but also enhances the satisfaction derived from completing a task well. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in avoiding distractions. By being fully present in the moment, we can become more aware of how we are spending our time and whether our actions align with our intentions. Mindfulness encourages us to pause and reflect, creating space to make deliberate choices about where to direct our energy. This practice can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before starting a new task, or as structured as incorporating meditation or journaling into our daily routines. Over time, mindfulness helps us build the habit of intentional living, reducing the hold that distractions have on our lives. Another effective strategy for avoiding distractions is creating a conducive environment for focus. Our surroundings greatly influence our ability to concentrate. A cluttered or noisy workspace, for example, can make it difficult to stay on task. By organizing our physical space and minimizing external interruptions, we can create an environment that supports deep work. This might involve decluttering, using noise-canceling headphones, or setting clear boundaries with others about when we need uninterrupted time. A supportive environment not only enhances focus, but also reduces the mental fatigue associated with constantly resisting distractions. Routines and habits are powerful tools in managing distractions. When we establish consistent patterns for our days, such as designated times for work, exercise, and relaxation, we reduce the mental effort required to decide what to do next. Good habits act as anchors, keeping us grounded even when distractions arise. For instance, starting the day with a clear plan or a prioritized to-do list can help us stay focused and productive. Over time, these habits build momentum, making it easier to resist distractions and stay aligned with our goals. It is also important to acknowledge that avoiding distractions does not mean eliminating all leisure or spontaneity. Life is not meant to be rigidly structured or devoid of enjoyment. The key is balance, allocating time for relaxation and unstructured activities without letting them dominate our days. By intentionally setting aside time for fun and exploration, we can enjoy these moments fully, knowing they are part of a well-rounded life. Avoiding distractions requires a commitment to continuous self-awareness and adjustment. Our priorities and circumstances evolve over time, and so must our strategies for staying focused. Regularly reassessing how we spend our time and making changes as needed ensures that we remain aligned with our values and aspirations. This ongoing process of reflection and refinement allows us to stay on track, even as new distractions emerge. By prioritizing meaningful activities and being intentional about how we use our time, we can minimize distractions and create a life that is both fulfilling and purposeful. Avoiding distractions is not about perfection, but about progress, a continual effort to align our daily actions with what truly matters. This alignment brings clarity, focus, and a sense of accomplishment, empowering us to live fully and authentically. Setting boundaries is an essential practice for safeguarding our time and energy. It is not merely about denying others or rejecting opportunities. Rather, it is about creating space for what truly matters in our lives. Boundaries help us prioritize our personal growth, rest, and passion pursuits by allowing us to focus on activities that align with our values and goals. They are a form of self-respect, a way of acknowledging that our time is finite and that we have the right to protect it. The ability to say no is at the heart of setting boundaries. For many, the word no carries a sense of discomfort, as it is often associated with conflict, rejection, or guilt. However, saying no is not an act of selfishness. It is an affirmation of our own needs and priorities. It is about recognizing that every time we say yes to something that does not serve us, we are saying no to something that does. This realization is critical in understanding the power of boundaries. When we learn to say no thoughtfully and respectfully, we reclaim control over our time and energy, ensuring that they are directed toward what truly matters. Boundaries are not just about declining external demands. They are also about setting limits for ourselves. Often, we are our own biggest obstacle, overcommitting out of a desire to achieve more or to meet unrealistic expectations. This tendency to take on too much can lead to burnout, stress, and a lack of fulfillment. Setting internal boundaries involves recognizing our limits, being honest about what we can realistically handle, and allowing ourselves to rest and recharge. It is about understanding that productivity does not define our worth, and that taking care of our well-being is just as important as achieving our goals. Rest is a vital component of boundary setting. In a culture that often glorifies busyness, the importance of rest is frequently overlooked. However, rest is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is during moments of rest that we recharge our minds and bodies, gaining the energy and clarity needed to pursue our passions and responsibilities. By setting boundaries that prioritize rest, we create a foundation for sustained growth and creativity. This might mean scheduling downtime, setting limits on work hours, or creating spaces free from distractions. Rest allows us to show up fully for the things that matter most. One of the challenges of setting boundaries is dealing with the reactions of others. When we start to say no or assert our limits, some people may feel disappointed, offended, or even resistant. This is especially true if they are accustomed to us always being available or accommodating. While it can be difficult to navigate these situations, it is important to remember that setting boundaries is not about controlling how others feel. It is about honoring our own needs. Clear and respectful communication is key. By explaining our boundaries and the reasons behind them, we can foster understanding and maintain healthy relationships while still protecting our time and energy. Boundaries also play a crucial role in maintaining healthy relationships. They ensure that there is a balance of give and take, preventing resentment or feelings of being taken for granted. In personal relationships, boundaries might involve setting limits on how much time we spend with others or establishing expectations for how we are treated. In professional settings, boundaries might include clarifying work hours, delegating tasks, or setting realistic deadlines. Regardless of the context, boundaries help create an environment of mutual respect where everyone's needs are acknowledged and valued. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is learning to recognize when they are being crossed. Often boundary violations happen subtly, through small requests or expectations that gradually build over time. This can lead to feelings of frustration, exhaustion, or even resentment. Being aware of these feelings is a signal that our boundaries may need reinforcement. It is essential to address these situations promptly, reaffirming our limits and communicating them clearly. This not only protects our time and energy, but also strengthens our ability to uphold our boundaries in the future. Flexibility is another key element of effective boundary setting. While boundaries are important, they should not be rigid or unyielding. Life is dynamic and circumstances change. There may be times when it is appropriate to adjust our boundaries, whether to accommodate a loved one's needs or to seize an unexpected opportunity. The key is to remain intentional and ensure that any adjustments align with our values and priorities. Flexibility allows us to maintain balance without compromising what matters most. Boundaries are deeply connected to our sense of self-worth. When we set and uphold boundaries, we send a message to ourselves and others that our time and well-being are valuable. This practice reinforces our self-respect and empowers us to make choices that align with our goals and aspirations. Over time, setting boundaries becomes a way of living intentionally, a way of ensuring that our actions and commitments reflect who we are and what we stand for. Creating and maintaining boundaries is an ongoing process. It requires self-awareness, honesty, and the willingness to reflect on what is working and what is not. As we grow and evolve, our boundaries may need to change, and that is okay. The important thing is to remain committed to the practice, knowing that it is a vital part of living a balanced and fulfilling life. Boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges to a life where our time, energy, and passions are protected and nurtured. They allow us to live with purpose, prioritize our growth, and fully embrace the things that bring us joy and meaning. Personal growth is a continuous journey, one that requires intention, effort, and a deep commitment to oneself. It is the process of becoming the best version of who we are, not by striving for perfection, but by striving for progress. Investing in oneself is not a luxury. It is a necessity for living a life of meaning and fulfillment. It involves dedicating time and energy to learning, setting goals, and embracing our individuality, all of which contribute to a greater sense of purpose and satisfaction. Learning is at the core of personal growth. It is through learning that we expand our horizons, acquire new skills, and deepen our understanding of the world and ourselves. This learning can take many forms, from formal education and professional development to self-directed exploration and reflection. The key is to approach learning with curiosity and an open mind, recognizing that every experience, whether positive or challenging, has something to teach us. When we make a habit of learning, we cultivate resilience and adaptability, qualities that are essential for navigating the complexities of life. Setting goals is another crucial aspect of personal growth. Goals provide direction and focus, helping us channel our efforts toward what truly matters. They serve as milestones on our journey, giving us a sense of progress and achievement. However, goal setting is not just about reaching a destination. It is about the person we become in the process. Effective goals are specific, measurable, and aligned with our values. They challenge us to step out of our comfort zones while remaining realistic and attainable. By setting goals that reflect our true desires, we create a roadmap for growth that is both inspiring and achievable. Embracing individuality is perhaps one of the most liberating aspects of personal growth. Each of us is unique with our own strengths, passions, and perspectives. Embracing who we are means letting go of comparisons and societal expectations, allowing ourselves to be authentically and unapologetically ourselves. This involves recognizing our worth, celebrating our differences, and understanding that our individuality is our greatest asset. When we embrace our uniqueness, we unlock our full potential and create a life that is truly our own. Personal growth is also deeply connected to self-awareness. To grow, we must first understand who we are, our strengths, weaknesses, values, and aspirations. Self-awareness allows us to identify areas for improvement and to recognize opportunities for growth. It encourages us to reflect on our experiences, learn from our mistakes, and celebrate our successes. This ongoing process of self-discovery is not always easy, but it is essential for creating a life that is authentic and fulfilling. Investing in personal growth often requires stepping out of our comfort zones. Growth rarely happens in the absence of challenge. It is through facing fears, taking risks, and embracing uncertainty that we discover what we are truly capable of. While it can be tempting to avoid discomfort, doing so limits our potential. By viewing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles, we can develop greater confidence and resilience. Each step outside of our comfort zone brings us closer to the person we aspire to be. Another important element of personal growth is the ability to adapt and evolve. Life is constantly changing, and personal growth requires us to change with it. This means being open to new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. It means letting go of what no longer serves us and embracing what does. Adaptability is a sign of strength, not weakness, and it allows us to thrive in an ever-changing world. By staying flexible and open-minded, we can continue to grow and evolve, no matter what challenges we face. Relationships also play a significant role in personal growth. The people we surround ourselves with can either support or hinder our progress. Positive relationships provide encouragement, inspiration, and accountability, while toxic relationships can drain our energy and hold us back. Choosing to invest in relationships that nurture our growth is an important part of the journey. At the same time, personal growth also involves learning to set boundaries and prioritize our own needs. It is about finding a balance between giving to others and giving to ourselves. Practicing self-care is another vital aspect of personal growth. Taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being is not a selfish act, it is a necessary one. Self-care allows us to recharge, maintain balance, and show up fully for ourselves and others. Whether it is through exercise, mindfulness, creative expression, or simply taking time to rest, self-care is an investment in our overall growth and happiness. It reminds us that we are worthy of care and attention, and it empowers us to pursue our goals with greater energy and focus. Personal growth is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. There will be moments of progress and moments of setback, times of clarity and times of doubt. What matters is not how fast we grow, but that we continue to move forward. Growth is a process of becoming, and it requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. By staying committed to our own development, we can create a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. Personal growth is about living intentionally. It is about making choices that align with who we are and who we want to become. It is about recognizing that we have the power to shape our own lives and that every decision we make is an opportunity to grow. When we invest in ourselves by learning, setting goals, and embracing our individuality, we unlock our potential and create a life of purpose and fulfillment. This journey of growth is the greatest gift we can give ourselves, and it is one that continues to reward us in ways we cannot yet imagine. Avoiding comparisons is one of the most liberating practices we can adopt in life. The habit of measuring our success, happiness, or worth against others often leads to feelings of dissatisfaction and insecurity. It is an unproductive cycle that distracts us from recognizing our own unique journey and accomplishments. By shifting our focus inward, we nurture self-confidence and create space for personal growth and fulfillment. Each person's path is unique, shaped by individual circumstances, goals, and values. Recognizing this truth allows us to let go of the burden of comparison and fully embrace our own life's journey. Comparison stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of what success and happiness truly mean. In today's world, where social media provides a constant stream of curated highlights from other people's lives, it is easy to fall into the trap of believing that everyone else is thriving while we are falling short. However, these glimpses into others' lives are often incomplete and polished, showcasing only the best moments while hiding the struggles and challenges that everyone inevitably faces. This creates an illusion of perfection that is impossible to achieve, fostering unrealistic expectations and eroding self-esteem. Understanding that what we see is not the full picture is essential to breaking free from the cycle of comparison. Another key aspect of avoiding comparisons is learning to define success on our own terms. Success is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It is deeply personal and varies from person to person. For one individual, success might mean building a thriving career, while for another, it might mean cultivating strong relationships or achieving a sense of inner peace. When we allow ourselves to be guided by our own values and priorities, we gain clarity about what truly matters to us. This shift in perspective helps us move away from external validation and focus on creating a life that aligns with our unique aspirations. Focusing on our own journey also requires us to practice gratitude and self-acceptance. When we compare ourselves to others, we often overlook the blessings and achievements in our own lives. Gratitude shifts our attention away from what we lack and toward what we already have, fostering a sense of contentment and appreciation. Similarly, self-acceptance allows us to acknowledge and embrace our imperfections, understanding that they are part of what makes us human. When we approach ourselves with kindness and compassion, we build a strong foundation for self-confidence and resilience. It is important to recognize that comparison often arises from insecurity or a sense of inadequacy. When we feel that we are not enough, we seek external measures to validate our worth. However, true self-worth cannot be derived from comparisons. It must come from within. Building self-worth involves taking the time to understand and appreciate our strengths, talents, and unique qualities. It means acknowledging our progress and celebrating our achievements, no matter how small. When we cultivate a strong sense of self-worth, the need to compare ourselves to others diminishes, and we become more focused on our own growth and fulfillment. Avoiding comparisons also requires us to embrace the reality that everyone's timeline is different. Life is not a race, and there is no universal schedule for achieving milestones. Some people may reach certain goals earlier, while others may take a different route or pace. This does not make one person's journey more valid or successful than another's. Trusting our own process and respecting the timing of our lives allows us to move forward with confidence and patience. It reminds us that our path is uniquely ours and that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. When we let go of comparisons, we free ourselves to fully experience and appreciate our own journey. We become more present, more attuned to our own goals and desires, and more capable of finding joy in the process of growth. This shift in mindset not only enhances our own well-being, but also strengthens our relationships with others. Without the pressure of competition or comparison, we can celebrate the successes of those around us without jealousy or resentment. This creates a sense of connection and mutual support, fostering healthier and more authentic relationships. One of the most powerful ways to avoid comparisons is to focus on personal growth rather than external achievements. Growth is an internal process that is unique to each individual. It involves learning from experiences, overcoming challenges, and striving to become the best version of ourselves. When we measure progress by our own standards rather than by the accomplishments of others, we gain a deeper sense of fulfillment and motivation. This inward focus allows us to remain grounded and resilient, even in the face of external pressures or societal expectations. Mindfulness is another valuable tool in overcoming the habit of comparison. By staying present in the moment, we become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, including those that lead to comparison. Mindfulness helps us observe these tendencies without judgment, creating space to choose a different perspective. Instead of dwelling on how we measure up to others, we can redirect our attention to what is meaningful and valuable in our own lives. This practice fosters a sense of inner peace and contentment, making it easier to resist the pull of comparison. Letting go of comparisons does not mean ignoring the achievements of others or failing to find inspiration in their stories. On the contrary, when we stop comparing ourselves to others, we can appreciate their successes without feeling threatened or inadequate. We can draw motivation and encouragement from their journeys while remaining focused on our own path. This shift in perspective turns comparison into connection, allowing us to learn from others in a way that supports our own growth and well-being. Avoiding comparisons is about embracing our individuality, and trusting our unique path. It is about recognizing that our worth is not determined by how we measure up to others, but by the authenticity and integrity with which we live our lives. When we focus on our journey, we gain clarity, confidence, and a sense of purpose. We become more attuned to what truly matters to us, and we create a life that is aligned with our values and aspirations. By letting go of comparison, we free ourselves to live fully, authentically, and joyfully. Valuing your time is one of the greatest acts of self-respect you can practice. Each moment you have is an opportunity to shape your life, to align your actions with your priorities, and to create meaning and fulfillment. By choosing to live intentionally, you take control of your time rather than letting it be controlled by distractions or demands that do not serve your growth. This intentionality allows you to focus on what truly matters: your personal development, your relationships, and the pursuits that bring you joy and purpose. Every choice you make about how to spend your time is a reflection of what you value most. It is not just about productivity or achievement. It is about honoring your finite moments and ensuring they are spent in ways that enrich your life. When you avoid distractions, set boundaries, and prioritize your own growth, you cultivate a sense of empowerment and clarity. You begin to see that time is not just a resource, but a representation of your life itself. How you spend your time defines who you are and the legacy you leave behind. By treating each day as a gift and each moment as an opportunity, you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Choose wisely, live intentionally, and let your time be a reflection of the life you truly desire to lead.